Robert Flores and Dan Plesac.
BK, we're in Surprise, Arizona, spring training home of the Kansas City Royals. Kansas City coming off a very rough 2018 campaign. 104 losses last season. Their staff ERA, second worst only to the Baltimore Orioles. But here with Dan Plesac, I'm Robert Flores. Dan, I will say this is a very enthusiastic camp, and there is a sense of optimism here.
There is. It's a very upbeat camp. Talk to Dayton Moore. He likes this team. They built this team around their ballpark. It's a tough ballpark to hit home runs and score runs, so they're going to try to steal bases and play the best defense they can.
Well, the defense was good as always last season. They've added even more speed. You know, you got Whit Merrifield, led the league in steals last season. Now they've got added Billy Hamilton. They're trying to go a little old school.
They are, and add the shortstop Mondesi can also steal some bases. It's a team that they're going to try to create runs, try to advance 90 feet. If somebody's going to give them 90 feet, they're going to take advantage of it. They really don't have a whole lot of home run power. They don't have a guy in that lineup that's going to hit 35 to 40 home runs. So they're going to try it the old school way, get on base and create havoc.
When this team was good recently, going to World Series, winning titles, it was the bullpen that was a big factor. Last season, that unit really struggled. Where are you right now going into?
I think their bullpen is going to be better. They brought in Jake Diekman, kind of an unconventional guy who throws down from the low three-quarter side. Willie Peralta pitched very well for them last year. They feel they added Brad Boxberger, who they think is going to help. Their bullpen is better than it was last year. They really thought, if you talk a lot of people around the Royals camp, they thought last year they lost a lot of games in the 6th, 7th, and 8th inning. Games in 2013, 2014, 2015, when they had arguably the best bullpen in baseball. They won the majority of those games, so they're trying to figure out how to win from the 6th inning on.
And maybe there's a chance you see Ian Kennedy come out of that bullpen at times. They've added Homer Bailey. Maybe they can help in the starting rotation change of scenery. One of the things that they did earlier this offseason, Dan, was that they locked up Whit Merrifield to a new 4-year contract, led the league in hits and in stolen bases, just the third player since World War II to do that in a single season. Dan and I had a chance to talk with Whit Merrifield, and I asked him first about his evolving role as a leader on this team.
I mean, you know, turn around and a lot of guys that you were playing with rookie year 2 are gone. So, you know, not a lot of guys in the clubhouse that have been around as long as I have, even though it hasn't been that long. So, you know, Gordo and Salvi are still my guys I go to, but, you know, young guys starting to come up to me now. So it's a responsibility I'm ready for and looking forward to taking them on. It's a very spacious outfield out there, and so we got one of the fastest guys in the league to cover the ground out there. So looking forward to playing with Billy every day and watching to see what he can do. Looking forward to seeing Mondesi take another big step forward. I think he's going to be an electric guy and a lot of fun to watch. And like I said, I think we're going to be a fun team to watch. Hopefully it transitions into some wins.
What's that like when a game that is so difficult like baseball and you endure a season like that?
It was tough. It was tough. We got off to such a bad start in April. There was just no coming out of that hole. So from the get-go, you know, we were grinding, knowing, you know, we probably weren't going to climb up to where we needed to be. So, you know, we just worked on what we needed to work on to get better for this year. So hopefully we've got some momentum late in the year. Hopefully that can transition into this year. And hopefully we can get off to a better start, because I think it's going to be really important for us. It's going to be exciting. We got a lot of guys that are super athletic. We're going to cause a lot of havoc on the base paths, and it'll be a fun team to watch for sure. It'll be different than most teams out there.
Good year for you, especially when the year was over, locked up to a new long-term contract with the Royals. You have to be ecstatic about that.
Yeah, it was exciting. We've been talking about it for a while, so to finally sort of come to terms on the deal was really exciting for me and my family, and takes a lot of the business part of the game off my mind, which is great, because I don't really care for the business part of baseball. I just like to go out and play. So I'm excited to go out and play and worry about winning, and that'll be the sole thing on my mind.
Hey, man, we appreciate the time. Good luck to you in 2019.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
You got it. Dan, Whit Merrifield doesn't get talked about a lot nationally. What do you like about him?
Everything. You know, he's an old school. We often hear about he's just kind of a gym rat, a baseball player. That's what he is. He's not the fastest guy on the field. He doesn't have the strongest throwing arm. But when you combine all the things that he does, he's a complete player.
Major League Baseball Network, we're celebrating our 10-year anniversary. So let's take a look back at some of the best moments in Royals history over the last decade.
It is gone!
most improbable comeback, perhaps in the history of Kansas City Royal baseball. Left side, Mustakas. Back-to-back American League pennants.
Strike 3 call. It's over. The Royals are World Series champions.
We're asking you the best moments for the last 10 years for the Royals. All centered, Bill, strangely enough, around those 2 years, which were pretty exciting. A wild card game against the A's was amazing. Then you've got the ALDS clincher against the Houston Astros. Remember Lorenzo Cain, Game 6 against the Blue Jays in the championship series. He scored from the first when Jose Bautista threw at the wrong base. That was exciting. And then you got what we could call, what, the Matt Harvey game?
I got the wild card game in there if I was voting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Then you got winning the World Series as well. You can vote. Let us know what you think when we come back. What Scott Boras had to say about his client's new deal. That's next. All right, let's go out now to surprise Arizona back to spring training.
Coming up next, Royals catcher Salvador Perez. He smells great. And you say that's the secret, right? The umpires love it.
Yeah, they know that. So I got some freakish strikes sometimes.
Sounds great. He's coming up next.
Discovery and MLB Network are giving you the chance to win this custom-built motorcycle built by All Junior Design.
Go to discovery.com/winnerchopper.
The winner will be announced in the season finale of American Chopper. Tune in each week to enter again.
Ned Yost is entering his 10th season as the Royals manager. He's led them to the playoffs twice, both World Series appearances. This year, he's looking for a bounce-back season. He's chatting with Dan.
Thanks, Robert. Here with the skipper, Ned Yost. Entering your 10th season. Man, time goes fast.
It goes by real fast.
Still enjoy managing as much as you did.
I love it. I love being around young players that want to work hard and achieve their dreams, and I love trying to give them the opportunity to do it.
Kind of going back a little bit old school, a lot of stolen bases, stealing, defensive team. More about that kind of a club with the Royals this year?
Yeah, way for sure. You know, I think that this game has changed more in the last 15 years than it did, you know, in the first 100 years. Dayton set out at the beginning of the winter to provide us a team full of speed and full of the ability to do different things than anybody else in baseball is doing right now. And you take a look at how many guys are playing the speed game. Nobody steals anymore. They just sit back and wait for a homer. So, you know, we want to try to take advantage of the speed and athleticism that we have and create some havoc. It's a bunch of young guys that are hungry, that love to work. We just think that with this style of game that we aim to play, it's going to be exciting and everybody's anxious to get going.
You seem refreshed. How about 10 more years from Ned Yost, huh?
Oh, man.
How about 10 more?
Yeah,
Robert, back over to you.
All right, Dan, here with Royals shortstop Alberto Mondesi. I was reading where Ned Yost said that there was a moment last season where you told him, Skip, you don't have to keep checking with me every day to see how I'm fine. I'm ready to play. And for him, that was the moment where he thought, you know what, this kid's ready. Do you remember that moment last year?
Yeah, I remember that. You know, it was a time where I was feeling great, you know, so I just need to stay on top of my body, you know, working every day. And those things that I need, but now I'm feeling good and, you know, excited to start the season.
How are you feeling right now, Bill, in these first few days of the spring training?
No, I feel great right now. Just keep working on, you know, those little things that are really helping me and, you know, just ready for baseball. We have a good team, you know, we got a lot of speed and we're ready for this. So we just need to keep working and this is going to happen. We have a good team and, you know, we have a great staff and coaches, so we're ready.
And a lot of stolen bases so far.
Oh, yeah, you know that.
Alberto Mondesi, Royal shortstop. Hey, man, we appreciate the time. Good luck to you and your team.
Thank you.
Dan, over to you.
And with Kyle Zimmer, 2012 first runner with the Royals, it's been a long road. We're at 2019 right now, and you're finally getting back healthy.
Yeah, it's definitely been a long road. A lot of ups and downs, probably more downs than ups. But I'm just excited to still be here, have a uniform on back, and have a chance to make club. I've never lost confidence in myself. I always just sort of felt like, hey, I'm one sort of good break or one good training progression away from still having it. And so I would sort of nosedive and then be able to get back to that point where it's like, hey, I'm back, and then I just wouldn't be able to sustain it. I'm really trying to take it one day at a time because I know too well how things can spiral out of control if you get ahead of yourself. And so I'm just really excited to show up every day, be able to go out and actually compete instead of just laying on the training room table.
Terrific. Kyle Zimmer, terrific story.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks.
All right, Dan, here to catcher Salvador Perez. Okay, now that you've had time to digest everything, how would you describe how 2018 went for you?
Great, you know. It was especially late in the season, September. I think we finished pretty good last year.
Yeah.
So all the moves they to move this in the offseason, I think it's gonna be great 2019.
Yeah. How does that, how you finished 2018, how do you carry that over to success this year?
The energy has got to be there. You know, I think that's the first thing for us. The energy. We don't have a lot of home run guys in there in our team, so we got to do the little thing in baseball, you know.
You have a lot of speed on your team. As a catcher, what do you think it would be like to try to keep guys like Witt and Billy and Mondesi? How do you think it would be like to contain them on the base?
That's the good thing I got in my team this year. You know, I don't have to worry about that. Right. Kind of remind me a little bit 2014 and 15 when we won, when we go to the World Series. So I think we got a pretty good team this year. I think they're gonna do a pretty good job this year.
Hey man, good luck to you. Stay healthy in 2019. Appreciate it.
All right, coming up here on MLB Tonight, back to
I'm more realistic than that, but certainly not any more. But certainly nothing has changed at all with what expectations are as far as the ultimate result.
It's really well said. That's why we love this guy. We got the best one in the business. And I'll say this to Warren's comments as we get out to break. We're watching West Virginia right now. I love Coach Huggins, future Hall of Famer. He's on the ballot this year. You love Coach Huggins. They've had similar personnel losses to what we've had in terms of the number of guys they've lost, and yet they bottomed out. They're just a two-way team in league play. We're really blessed that our guys were able to circle the wagons, rally the troops.
Yeah, but it's all, but that, you know, that's also not fair too. And I hate to cut you off, but with Hugs, certain places have more margin for error than others, and so you know, with Kansas, we have more margin for error because you know, our players maybe 6 through 10 are different than maybe some places they are at other places, and so even though even though it is true, but when some people lose certain things, it's a little bit different than when other people lose certain things too. You know, I think sometimes that we kind of get hung up. Well, it's not tit for tat, you know, because each situation is a little bit different.
No doubt. Great point. They were big third though, and yet you've been able to.
You got to get the last word.
No. I'm trying to compliment you, Coach. I'm trying to talk you up. Hey, we're going to get to more audience questions when we come back. I promise you. We're having a great time out here tonight at Johnny's Tavern, West Lawrence. More coming up on the Jayhawks Sports Network from Learfield, IMG College.
Problems for kids on Monday morning. It definitely will be the cold. So we got more on the system and track. We'll be following it all weekend. You still have your tea time for?
I do like that. The 43 I saw next Thursday. I like that one.
You did, sir.
Yes, exactly. All right, sports coming up. KU and K-State, look ahead because that's the only direction. Okay, guys. And we hit up the combine in Indy. Come back and find out the connection between the KC general manager and the KC quarterback who could go in the first round of the draft.
I said it to you guys, you know, 8-10 days ago, Baylor was going to be a big game, and I knew it would be, and, you know, they found a way to win last night. They're right in the race, too.
That was a big game against KU Monday night, but now it's also Baylor, who is also a game back at Kansas State. Meanwhile, KU ventures into the cold, dark world outside of Allen Fieldhouse. Here's D. Jackson.
Well, KU has been challenged on the road, just 2-7 on the year, but get this, they are still in contention for the Big 12 title after beating K-State on Monday.
The sense of urgency back against the wall and the understanding that you know, the road hadn't been good to us this year. We gotta be different than what we have been.
Now, KU's just one game behind the Wildcats and Texas Tech for first place in the Big 12, as they head to Stillwater with 3 games left to play.
We're just playing a game by game. And we take a game by game. I feel like we could win every game.
Kansas has relied heavily on freshman Devon Dotson, who is one of only 3 true freshmen averaging 13 points per game, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds per game in conference play.
Just playing more free. Just playing more with just open mind, you know. If the shot's there, you take it, because, you know, it can lead to, you know, pretty good things, you know. Yeah, just
Just playing more of a free mind, I would say.
KU's averaging 75.9 points per game. Dedrick Lawson leading the way, averaging 19, hoping to keep the good times rolling when they head to Stillwater to take on those Cowboys. In Lawrence, D. Jackson, 41, Action News.
Thanks, D, to the pouch of ouch.
Yeah.
Not in the game, just career.
We lost by 20.
Yes, we did, but they are the #1 team in the league by far.